All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another WineShark Wednesday. That is yours truly, the WineShark. Once again, running late because I'm having a coughing fit over an attempted wine sip. It's almost like I was not a professional. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a wonderful fall 2021. It's finally here. It's fall time, and could not be more pleased. The weather here is indicated in a very nice manner, as it has been in the mid to low 80s for the last day or so, and continues to be so. So, giving us a nice, cool fall fuzzy feeling that summer has ended, fall is here, and we are into the harvest season. As you guys know, that is a very exciting time for us in the world of wine, and me, yours truly, one of my favorite seasons. So, let's see. What have we got going on today? Tour stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about the tour, give you some full tour details. Tickets are on sale. Yay, all things cool. And then we're going to drink some of this lovely Chateau Saint Michelle Cabernet Sauvignon because I was in the mood for something a little warm today. So let's see. First things, what's new? Upcoming events. Australian White Wines. Free show, online, Zoom meeting. Pick any Australian whites you want. I've got 3 that I'm going to be tasting. We're going to go to a deep dive on how Australian whites are awesome and not to be overshadowed by their red cousins. So that's on the 24th September. Free show on Friday. Tickets available on Facebook via Eventbrite. So, or the other way around if you want to see it that way. Anyway, we've also got the Texas tour that is coming up 7th through 9th of October. So we are looking at Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and I'm going to go through the details here in just a minute. And then finally, we've got our Flavors of Fall show down at Reunion Tower on 24 October. So we've got shows throughout the rest of the year at the Reunion Tower. That is just the first of the shows that are on my current calendar. So hope you guys can join us for some fun fall flavors then. But our focus of today is our Texas tour. We've got Thursday through Saturday, the 7th through 9th of October, as I said before. We're gonna do 3 events each day. It's with a total of 7 guests per event, plus yours truly. So a very small, intimate 8-person tour led by your sommelier through each one of these styles of things. We're gonna do the basic program is 1 special wine event, 1 wine tasting, and 1 wine dinner or 1 dinner each day. So we start off at about 11. We meet up. We will be driving a van so that you guys don't have to worry about transportation and all that sort of thing. I am your designated driver, and we'll be out there doing the work. So we'll be out there, and at 11 o'clock we're going to meet in downtown Fredericksburg, and then we're going to do 3 different events each day. On Thursday, for instance, we are going to do the VIP tour out at Augusta Inn. Then we're going to do Cross Mountain Tasting Room back in downtown. Some Italian wine featured. It's custom made and imported here to Texas. And then we're going to do dinner at the Altstadt Brewery that evening. There's also a break in each day between between the second event and the dinner. We've got a couple of hours to yourself, either to refresh at your accommodations or to shop around downtown, whatever it is that you like, to get everybody to get a little bit of a break. So it will be an all-day event. I figure around from 11 a.m. till probably around 9 p.m., 10 p.m. each evening. It's kind of if you're going to do an all-day show, but you can also pick and choose as you need. Okay. So then Friday we will be doing the William Chris wine tasting and special picnic. So that's our special wine event today. Then we're going to hop over to Adega Vino for some Portuguese twist on Texas grapes. And then finally, we will end up with a Texas-style wine theme at the Cabernet Grill. Their entire wine list is all Texas-based. They have a very broad Texas cuisine, so we've got some awesome selections of really native kind of foods, game birds, things like that. A lot of fun. Great little restaurant, and we're going to go out there. Then finally, on Saturday, we're going to go do the deep dive wine tour, or the backstage wine tour, if you will, at Kuhlman Cellars. So we'll get to, again, that'll be more of, we'll go see the winery, walk around the vines. We'll also get to see how the wine is made. You'll see their cooperage, storage, that kind of thing. You get to see a little, behind the scenes. Then we'll do Narrow Path as just a wine tasting. And then we'll go to dinner at Chase's Place downtown. Chase's Place and Cocktails has been highly recommended. We've got a fantastic menu, and we're going to go have some bites together and enjoy each other's company for the final time there. So I will put, tickets are now up and live on the Facebook page. So you go there to find on the events section of WineShark, where you'll find all the information. This will link you over to each individual day on Eventbrite. Each one of the ticket prices is reflection of the individual cost per each event. They are all inclusive. So when you get a ticket price per person, it includes all the tasting fees, all transportation, if for the meals, for instance, everything is paid for. We'll have a little pre-fee menu set up. I'm going to be featuring. I will be buying wine for the crowd, not only just at dinners, and I'll be buying some special tasting stuff. Things I really want to share with you as kind of bonuses on top of what you're going to get if you were just doing the tour by yourself. Plus, of course, so hopefully some knowledge learning and good times with yours truly, kind of getting behind the elevated experience that I can offer. But also, when it comes to things like we're going to do some special food pairings. For instance, I've got some ideas on some cheeses, some meats, some light foods that I'll be bringing along to help kind of highlight cool things along the way. So it is going to be a heck of a lot of fun. You do need to be vaccinated to go on this tour. We're going to be in close proximity with each other in a closed space for time. And frankly, I'm a vaccine believer. Get it or do it. If you don't have it, I'm sorry, you can't join us. And we will also be complying with any businesses' COVID policies on a case-by-case basis. So if they require masks for certain things or not masks for certain things, we're going to do whatever those businesses want because we support them, and it's the way that they would hope that it would support us as fellow small business people. So I really hope you guys are able to join us. I've been trying to get this going. There was a lot of rocky starts and misstarts. Several of the ideas that I wanted to do weren't possible. There were some other funky things going on, but tickets are limited there, but they are on sale right now. So I hope you guys can join us and make it possible. Really, I mean, if the weather holds like this, boy, it's going to be, it's only into next week, so it's not too far away. So get your accommodations, get sorted, and let's get down there. So then, of course, every day, and every show here, right, we have ourselves the grocery store grab. This is our grocery store grab of the day. I'm going to actually show you the label here in the digital version in just a moment. We've got Chateau Saint Michel Cabernet Sauvignon. As I said before, I was in the mood for something warm. Cab is one of my, one of the favorites, the most popular red wine grape on the planet, and for good reason. But over the last course of 2021, I've really been trying to expand my knowledge into Washington State wineries, and this winery was actually my first exposure to that very early in my wine career. And they've been a solid player in the game for a long time. They're a fairly large winery. They actually own and assist several other smaller places, basically in their distribution and their winemaking program, and they've got a lot of prestige. They've been around, since 1967, as it says on the label. So they really were there at the beginning of Washington State's wine world as we know it, and so they're really just a kind of go-to name. So while I think, just to give you, if you haven't seen the grocery store grab before, the premise is to get the best value per dollar for wines found at non-specialty stores or not in big box retailers, right? So if you have to shop for your wine at your grocery store, where you may not have good access to expertise and opinions about those wines, then guess what? This is one of the things we have to focus is the label of the wine, and that label is where we're going to be focused. I don't choose the wines ahead of time, but that doesn't mean that I've never tried them before, or for instance that I try not to have things that I'm having all the time. But so yeah, I know Chateau Saint Michel. I can reliably say that I bet this is probably a pretty solid wine. But that doesn't mean that you would know that if you're new to your wine journey and shopping into. So what does the label of Chateau Saint Michel tell us? So just on the front, this is where you'd see, as I was referencing, they've got the established in 1967 there. They've got the name of the brand, and they've got the name of the grape and the location of the growth. This says Columbia Valley. The current model that I've actually got, the 2018, has the vintage written right below that. And then they see on the bottom here, it says, they're Washington State's founding winery. They're very proud of their heritage there. So this is already doing us a good job of telling us what's in the bottle. Cabernet Sauvignon grapes. Where is it made? Washington State, Columbia Valley. Okay, this is a good piece of information that we're already starting off on the front of the label. But the back, that's usually where the rubber meets the road for us. What we also want to see is not just what's in the bottle and where the grape's grown, but we really want to add in what the wine tastes like. We want flavor words that any person can understand and hopefully some ideas about food pairings as well. And Chateau Saint Michelle really kind of knocked it out of the park here. Okay, they've got their Cabernet Sauvignon 2018, and then they've got a little history. They've got their little marketing blurb, which is normal. Paragraph saying since 1967, the dedicated winemakers at Chateau Saint Michelle has transformed the finest grapes into some of the most spectacular wines in the world. Okay, then but they shifted the text in color and in font, to make it stand out. But they have this next paragraph. Rich with red fruit flavors, the complexity and structure of this Cabernet Sauvignon remains delectable at every sip, especially when paired with beef, game, and/or burgers. Okay, so they've got the idea. We've got red fruit flavors, we've got pairings. It's not quite as detailed as we want, but it certainly has the information that I would look for to say, what does this taste like? Now, red fruits is a little bit broad in my opinion. That's where I think that they could improve. Red fruits like what? Does it taste like cranberry or raspberry? Does it taste like red currant? Does it taste like pomegranate? Does it taste like red plum? Cherries? What red fruits are you specifically trying to aim for here? So that would be, they could improve with that, but I love the fact that they've also got the reference of beef, game, and burgers, leaning towards fattier red meats, etc., tend to go better with Cabernet Sauvignon. They're giving you that hint, hey, go this direction if you're looking for it. And they've even got an interesting thing here that's kind of moderned up, is they've got a sort of not quite it doesn't quite have a USDA list on it, but it has an average analysis per 5 ounces: 121 calories, 4 grams of carbs, no grams of protein, no grams of fat, less than 1 gram of sugar per 5-ounce glass, and it is gluten free. They're basically hitting that wellness market. And that's an interesting concept, I think, where you're talking about embracing some of the things that consumers are transforming into, right? We're expecting to see some of these things, and they're competing with a lot of those natural wine and clean wine folks that are going to claim that there's extra sugar in your bottle, or that they're high calorie, or this or that. Now, also, this wine sits at about 13.5% ABV, alcohol by volume, which is good. Meaning in the sense that that's right kind of in the middle of the road on the lower end for Cabernet Sauvignon, which means this wine has got a little bit of restraint to it. So let's go ahead and give it a taste and see where we land on our success points. What we're looking for here is not truly a professional comparative opinion. We're really just looking for 3 questions. Is it well executed? Is it on style? And is it worth the price tag? Something that I think that every wine consumer deserves to know, rather than a full kind of ranking of it. Now, color-wise, it definitely has that dark, concentrated coloration of Cabernet. You can't quite see all the way through it. I mean, I'm holding it up against my lighted screen here and still can't see the text through it. So it's got a lot of grape in there going on. Coloration is definitely towards the garnet side, darker, going towards the purple end of the range. On the nose, it smells a little warm. It smells of alcohol, really, kind of at first, giving me more of an impression of a cherry cover, like a cherry cough drop, or not quite medicinal, but it smells hot. It smells warm for some reason. I'm getting that's the alcohol just kind of peeling off the glass here. Maybe this would also tone down with a little bit more air. But then the next thing underneath that is that dark cherry and kind of, I would even say maybe in that pomegranate or grenadine kind of flavor. If they're going for red fruits, it's definitely on the darker side of things, rather than, it doesn't have any what I would call fully black fruit flavors, though. It doesn't remind me of blackberry or black currant or things like that. So I think they were on point when they said red. Surprising for a cab. Cabs usually trend towards the black fruit end of the spectrum. So yeah, and smell a little bit of oak on there. There's a little bit of oak aging there's kind of a cinnamon sweet smell, or vanilla smell right in the back that says, hey, it spent some time in some oak. But okay, wow, we are definitely in that full mouthfeel, right? Definitely full category. The tannins here, all over the mouth, but very much carrying more red fruit flavor. I think it lightens up in the palate from where we were in the nose. Now I'm getting more red cherry, red currant, and less of that grenadine or reduced pomegranate flavor. It's a little bit brighter, actually, than it smelled at first. wonderfully well balanced, right? And just really nicely balanced across the palate. The fruit definitely hits forward. There's a nice little bit of grip. It doesn't carry a bunch of soil or back of the palate weight, and the finish is kind of medium, meaning that flavor only lingers around for so long. This is a fairly lightweight, approachable Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a great gateway cab for people that want to explore that style, I think, because it's not hitting overt on the mouth weight, etc. Really nicely played in that area. So answering our questions, is it well executed? Yeah, there's no flaws in the winemaking here. This is well made, well on point. By the way, this was advertised at my grocery store at $20, and then after your discount card price, it was $15. So this is a $15 cap, right squarely at the bottom end of where I aim people when it comes to looking for your everyday drinking wines. $15 to $25 is kind of where the sweet spot is. This definitely, as a larger producer, they're gaining that and they get to push that line down a little. But wow, for that, is it well executed? Absolutely. Is it on style? This is where I would say that's maybe like at I don't know, how would we grade it? Is it on or off? Because I don't think it's an off style, but it's a different style. It's a unique thing. In other words, the Washington Cabernets definitely approach the world very different than their Napa cousins or ones from Bordeaux or other places on the planet. Okay, so I like that. I think this is expressive of its own particular style, although it's not what you might expect if you are used to bigger, bolder. I mean, the cabs down in California can, especially some of the powerhouses in Napa, can definitely be those wines that go to 11. This is not one of them. This is showing a little bit more restraint, a little more moderation, and it's quite delightful. So yeah, anyway, is it worth the price tag? At 15 bucks? Hell yeah. This is an absolutely great bargain for that price, and I would not turn anybody away from it. I mean, as I said before, I tried the brand. I expect them to hold this up, but it's always good to check in if you haven't. This is not one of my day drinkers, but I absolutely wouldn't turn away from it, and I would definitely feel good recommending it to anybody who wanted to explore the style. So checking in with chat. Oh, so hey, Rob says hello for WineShark on tour. Hooray, Rob! And I don't know if you're waving or flipping me off with your little emoji there, but I think it's hilarious either way. And Mark and Betty say hello from Grapevine. Well, I hope you guys are having a great time out there in Grapevine. Grapevine, for those of you not familiar with our local North Texas geography, is a little town right in the middle of Dallas and Fort Worth, and that is famous for making grapevines. They have a lot of little wineries there, and they host our annual Grape Fest. So I don't know if you guys got to go visit that. It's a really fun event with a wine-soaked event in the old downtown area of Grapevine, where they've got a tasting tent that has they used to have over 50 Texas wineries. If not, I wouldn't be surprised if there are more now. But 50 Texas wineries that come in, and you can go sample to your heart's little content and your liver's detriment. It is a wonderful time, and I encourage you guys, if you are into exploring Texas wine, to go check it out. One of the things that got me in, it was definitely formative in my opinions of Texas wine early in my sommelier career, and one of the reasons that we are now going back to Fredericksburg with the reassessment of where Texas wine is in 2020 and this decade. It has certainly come a long darn way. So I hope you guys have the opportunity to do that as well. But anyway, just to kind of sum up once again, we're doing Australian white wines on 24 September. Free show on Friday. Hope you guys can join us. And again, I'm going to be trying 3 different wines. You guys don't even, get an Australian wine that you think looks interesting, or that it's a favorite that you'd like to share with the crowd. It's a very low pressure show. You don't need to have everything. You don't need to be trying along everything that I've got to do. Just get in. You're going to learn a lot about Australia's kind of white wine legacy industry and how they got in there, which is an interesting story all of its own. And then we're going to enjoy some wine and chit chat. We're going to learn. We're going to laugh. We're going to drink. It's going to be a great time. The tour coming up next week, so we've got 7th through 9th of October, rock and roll. It's going to be a great time, and they said tickets are going fast. So then I have not that. Join me for Flavors of Fall in 24 October. Oh, and another special kind of question mark preview, weird and fun show. I did a great show this last weekend. I wanted to keep this little secret until the show was actually done, as not to spoil it. But one of my guests hired us to do a private tasting for his girlfriend, and she was a very big Lord of the Rings fan. So I did a show that was in entirely tuned into New Zealand's wine world, specifically with wines that were paired or came from filming locations that were used by the Lord of the Rings. Now, the good news is I was able to come up with some fun selections. The bad news is most of the movie wasn't shot anywhere near most of the major wine producing regions, so it was a little bit of work to find it. But it is an interesting topic, and I know a lot of you are Lord of the Rings fans too. If this is something that interests you, you could arrange your own private party, and I can repeat the show. But I'm actually thinking about doing a show here at my home. I really want to get in and kind of explore the topic as well. So I may do some things where if you are here in North Texas, and I may offer a brief dinner for 6 guests. May do it more than once if the demand is there. But if you guys are interested, let me know down in the comments that you guys want to join us for a Lord of the Rings themed wine tasting. So elf ears are not required, though they did have them at the party. I thought the thing was very, very well executed. The party was a hell of a lot of fun. So anyway, that's kind of what's going on. Guys, from your favorites Cabernets to your pumpkin pie spice, and yes, it is pumpkin pie spice, not pumpkin spice. Nobody spices a pumpkin. We spice the pies. But what is your favorite thing about this upcoming fall? We have got all kinds of things I know I'm looking forward to, but put those in the comments after the video is over. If you like what we're doing, like and subscribe. If you really like what we're doing, share with a wine-loving friend or join us over on Patreon. Patreons get things like first cracks at the tickets that we're selling for special events. They get VIP treatment on those events for special events, and of course recipes, other fun details, and the complete log of all the online video shows that we do. All those Zoom meetings are recorded and archived so that you can go back and deep dive into wine topics that you are interested in. So whether you made the show or not, you can join us for those. So support us over on Patreon. You'd be really awesome. I thank all of my existing Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing and help make all of this possible. So I hope everybody is starting off their fall with a wonderful drink. And until next time, I've been your wine shark. Cheers. Yes, Laszlo. My dog is, as you see, waiting around and now is saying yes, it's your turn. Okay, fine. I pay attention to you now. Good night, everybody.